that you haven't heard that one in a while. So we are recording. But number one in terms of the eight things that you lose without realizing is your inner voice. And I read a book a few years ago where it says to trust that voice, just to not question it, and to actually, I've got a tea here. I'm still on my juice cleanse, so forgive me if I'm gonna keep on juicing this, but I think I'm addicted to it at this point because it's really nice. But there was a book that basically told me to have like a practice where I went out for one day and I just let my inner voice tell me what way to go, what way to turn, if I should do this, if I should do this. So I just allowed it. And even though it didn't lead me anywhere, I didn't come across anything amazing, it was a practice to trust that inner voice. And sometimes we expect, okay, if I listen to my inner voice, that, I'm gonna maybe walk instead of get a cab, or I'm gonna maybe do this instead of that, and you expect some profound thing to happen when you listen to that voice. Sometimes it's genuinely just building that trust with that voice, even though you don't know why you're listening to it, even though you don't know what it's leading you to, you still trust that voice. And I think a lot of us look for instant results of why we're listening to that voice. And that's something that I felt is like, okay, because my voice is telling me to turn right instead of to turn left, something amazing on the right hand side there should be. And it's not the instant gratification. Okay. I love it. And that's such a good point, Elia, because when it comes to like walking is such a healthy thing that a lot of us don't do. Like, I have got into the bad habit of just getting a cab everywhere, so I'm being more intentional about walking as well, um instead of getting the cab. And even the people that have been seeing recently about like all my appointments and etc., they've been telling me that I need to walk, and I need to do things that bring down your stress levels and bring you to a place of like more, I want to say zen. But yeah, walking is healing as well. And sometimes we ignore our gut. Sometimes we're like, well, no, I don't want to go this way, I'm going to go this way. And you silence your inner voice. So I definitely encourage you guys to start listening to that inner voice more, because sometimes we drown it out, and sometimes we seek external validation, and sometimes we seek external opinions that are irrelevant, and we have trained ourselves to listen to other people rather than ourselves. And eventually you forget to even hear yourself or how to hear yourself. And the scariest thing isn't losing other people, it's losing yourself. And your voice matters, and your intuition is a gift, and you need to start listening to it again, because it can definitely guide you in so many amazing places and to do so many amazing things. And even though you don't see it now, you will see it in the long run. So number one is your inner voice. Number two is your emotional range. Now, what do I mean by your emotional range? We live in we live in a world that celebrates emotional numbness as strength. We live in a world where being cold is cool, and suppressing your emotions is cool, and hiding the things that you feel is cool, and you being able to compartmentalize your feelings and basically push your feelings aside and suppress your feelings, it's looked at as a good thing. And you are rewarded for being strong because you are going through something and you have shown up with a smile on your face. But it's a lie. Okay, the more that you suppress pain, the more that you suppress even joy. Like, so many people don't want to show how happy they are, or like, we are literally in a world where people are celebrated for not feeling any sort of emotion, and you can't selectively shut down your feelings. When you suppress your feelings, when you block the low experiences and you also block the high experiences, you look at vulnerability as a weakness. And I was actually having such an interesting conversation a few weeks ago about vulnerability and being vulnerable. And yes, it's a scary thing. it's sometimes scary. Well, this is obviously was my perception of just looking at how to be vulnerable. And yes, it can sometimes be scary because you're putting yourself in a position of to be hurt, basically. But you have to understand that we are emotional beings. We are emotional beings and we are filled with emotion. And when you suppress your emotion and when you hide your emotion, this is something that I've learned along the way as well. Like literally this journey that I've been on, it's so relevant to what we're talking about right now. But your body will hold on to stress. Your body will hold on to those emotions because you are not processing it. Your body is still processing it. So your body is still holding on to these things. So that's why we've got so much illnesses in this world and disease in this world and like stress in this world and anxiety and depression and all of these things because people are not processing what they're actually going through and we're rewarded for just showing up anyway. And it's so important to actually process what it is that you have gone through, that you are going through, even if you feel like you are over it. Okay, even if you feel like you are over it, it's so important to process it. Being vulnerable is not a weakness. And I read something and it was such a thing that hit me. It said being vulnerable is access to your full human experience. Having emotional range and allowing yourself to range in emotions and to feel your emotions is not a weakness. It's not a bad thing. It's actually experiencing being a human because we are emotional beings. When you lose your emotional range, you stop connecting deeply with others and with yourself. So, if you want to live fully, then you have to feel fully as well. And that means feeling the bad things as well as the good things and not suppressing them. So when you feel a type of way about something, it's not to say, well, now I need to tell this person how I feel and how they've made me feel. It's not to say that, but at least journaling, at least processing in some sort of way where it's healthy, going for a walk, even, and just literally allowing yourself to process what it is. I used to find myself when I was going through challenging things, I used to throw myself into work. I would throw myself into work and I would get as busy as I possibly could so I wouldn't think about anything that I was going through. And it was such an unhealthy way of processing things. And I can tell you, I wasn't operating at 100%. And for you to operate at 100%, you need to process these things. Now, it's not to say, well, I'm going through something, so I'm going to quit and not show up for 5 days. It doesn't mean that. It means processing. So, processing looks like going for a walk, spending time with yourself, doing journaling, actually allowing yourself that if you feel upset, sit there and allow yourself to feel those feelings. It's okay. You're allowed to feel those feelings. And we've got in such a world where it's like, well, I'm too busy to even think like that. I'm too busy to focus on that. And it's so crazy because there are so many lessons learned in the experiences that we experience. But because you don't fully experience it, you haven't learned the lessons that are required to learn. Okay, so definitely take your time to look at what it is that you have gone through. What have you learned about it? How has it shaped you as a person? How does it make you feel? All of those fun things. Okay, so number two, your emotional range. Number three, time with people you love. We often think that we're going to have more time to call our parents, more time to visit our friends, more time to be with our children while they're still small. Now, I know that we are going on a 90-day run. I know that completely. And during that time, there is going to be sacrifice with time with family. There is going to be sacrifice with time with loved ones, 100%. Okay, there is. It doesn't mean completely neglecting them, though. It doesn't mean not calling your mum or your dad or not calling your sisters and just checking in with them for 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't mean that. Okay. It means like you can check in with them and still go back to your day. It just means that they are no longer going to be a reason as to why I can't show up. I'm still going to show up 100%. I'm still going to do the things that I need to do. Yes, you are still a priority, but by making this a priority, you are a priority. Okay. And during the experiences of like that you have lost along the way, of time with people that you love, we have to practice being still without rushing. So this new journey that I'm on, I don't know, I'm on a journey anyway, but this new journey that I'm on, I'm really intentional about being slow with my mornings. I used to be the type of person that was like, okay, as soon as my alarm goes off, I'm getting up and I'm out of bed and I'm making my bed. Like, that's what we have to do. Or I would previously go on my phone, or I would just do something that made my brain just rush. And of course, I do my morning routine and I do my gratitudes, I do my affirmations, I do my meditation, but I would rush to do it. Okay. And now I've been really intentional about just waking up, drinking my water, breathing, taking time, and then going into my morning routine and just making sure that I am not always rushing all the time and just being still and be with yourself, be with someone without rushing. Like, I used to be on the phone with my sisters and I would want to rush off the phone because I was like, oh, I need to be productive. I need to be this. I need to do that. Having 10 to 15 minutes on the phone to a loved one is absolutely fine. The most important people in your life, and this is something that is going to hit home, the most important people in your life are temporary. Everyone is, including you, okay? This sounds really morbid, but I want this guy to really, really help you guys understand. One day, you're going to have a last conversation with someone. You're going to have the last hug with someone. You're going to have the last memory with someone. And many of us, you don't know when it is. You don't know when it's going to happen. And you won't know until it's actually happened. And time is the most expensive currency that we have. And we take it for granted so much. Like, you sit there and you procrastinate and you waste your time and you don't make the most of your time. And we spend the most of it on the least important things. You spend a lot of your time on things that are not even that important. And what I mean by not that important, doom scrolling. Like, so many people are guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. Where you just sit there and you just doom scroll. And during that time where you're not being productive, you could be contributing towards what it is that you're supposed to be doing for your loved ones, or actually doing something. And you lose the chance to make more time with them. You lose the chance to spend more time with them. And once that time is gone, there is no amount of money, there is no amount of doom scrolling, there is no amount of anything that can buy it back, that can get that back. So we need to appreciate the time that we do have and make the most of the time that we do have. So going into the 90 days, yes, there's going to be time sacrificed. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This 90 days is going to be a serious run and it's going to change your life if you really, really play it correctly. During that time, there is going to be time sacrificed with loved ones. That means that you're more intentional about calling to check in. A 10 to 15-minute conversation a day is not going to hurt you. It's not going to nothing. Like, during that time, if you are not seeing your family, you're going to see your family less. Like, I've already had a conversation with my sisters and my mum, and I've told them this 90 days, I love you guys, but don't ask me to come out to the cinema. Don't ask me to come out for food. Don't ask me to come out for nothing. I am working. I am locked in. I am serious. I'm going to have conversations with you. I'm going to check in with you guys. You're definitely a part of me just checking in with you, and you're a part of the to-do on the day. But what I'm doing is for us. So I'm not going to completely neglect you during this 3 months. Okay, I'm not going to completely neglect you during this 3 months. Okay, so number 3, time with people that you love. Please make the most of it. When you are with people that you love, don't sit there on your phone and not be intentional about the time that you have with them. Actually have a conversation with them, check in with them, how are they doing, etc. Okay, cool. I don't know why, I didn't start drinking lemon tea so much earlier. I don't know. Anyways, number four, the present moment. You are here. Okay, you are here. But are you really here? Okay. Because a lot of people are probably listening to my voice and you are scrolling on Instagram or you are doing something and you've got me playing in the background. So you're not really present. We're so busy replaying the past or rehearsing the future that we miss the only thing, the only place that really like life is really happening is now. Like life is really happening. Like some of us prayed for this moment. And I was actually having a conversation with someone the other day, and they literally told me, "Oh, I can't wait for this month to be over." And I said, "What? It's just started. You are wishing time away. How can you wish time away?" And the present is such a gift. That's why it's called the present. It is such a gift. Yet most people spend this their time thinking about the past or thinking about the future that you're not actually realizing, okay, here and now, this is the present moment. This is what I'm experiencing. This is about being intentional. Like, you're not actually here. You're not actually here. So, where life is actually being created, whereas right now, and where life is actually happening, whereas right now, you're not even present. Moments are being created all around you, and there is so much beauty in the world, so much love in the world, so much opportunity in the world, and they're passing by while your mind is somewhere. And I've been really intentional when I'm in the cab now. I'm intentional about I'm not always on my phone for the first like 10 minutes of the cab journey. I will not be on my phone and I will just look at the world outside. I'll just look at the world outside and I will take in the present moment. Okay, because that is where your peace lives. That is where your experience lives. Your creativity, your joy, your alignment all live in the present moment. But too many people let that moment slip away just because you were too busy worrying about a moment that doesn't even exist yet. Some of us, so many of us, we worry about the future, we worry about the worst case scenario happening, we worry about these that you actually forget like there is no like right now in this current moment, and I really hope to say it how I think it so you can understand it how I think of it. Right now, really and truly, none of us have any problems. Like that nothing exists outside of now. Like, how do I say this? Nothing exists outside. Like right now in this present moment, you are healthy, you can hear my voice. Regardless of what's going on over here, what's going on over here, there is actually no problem in your vicinity. There is no nothing. Like you are healthy, you can hear me, you can see me, your senses are working perfectly. You're absolutely fine. Okay, good. You're getting it. There is no problem in terms of where you are right now. Like nothing exists but now. Okay, nothing exists but now. And I think that's such a beautiful concept of that doesn't act like that's not in my existence right now. That over there, it's not my in my existence right now. What's in my existence is what I choose to be in my existence. So you don't have to constantly worry and stress about the future because it's not in your existence just yet. And your past is gone. It's not in your existence anymore. So being in the present moment and allowing yourself to feel the present moment. And that's why I think it's so important to start off these calls with gratitude because it allows you to look at, okay, well, what am I grateful for? What am I experiencing right now that I'm grateful for? How do I feel right now? And I think it's such a beautiful concept that the present moment is actually a perfect moment. Okay. So just don't let it slip away just because you're too busy worried about the past or worried about the future. Okay. Number five. I highly recommend lemon tea with honey. This has been doing wonders. Like I've had like three of these a day. And there's no caffeine in it. It's just so good for your body. I know it's not a point of so I'm not gonna turn this into a health call, but number five, your authentic self. This one is so big for me. Because bit by bit, so many people, so many people trade who they are to fit in. You let go of so many beautiful parts of yourself and so many amazing parts of yourself to fit in. You dim your light to be acceptable, or you edit your truth to avoid conflict. And what I mean by that is you stop expressing your opinions. And this is, yeah, tea is like, it's actually amazing. Okay, but when it comes to it, when it comes to it, a lot of us have sacrificed our authentic self. You edit your truth, you edit your opinions, you edit the way that you think things or what you think because you want to avoid conflict. And without realizing, you lose the most valuable thing that you have, and that is your real self. Now, I'll give you an example. Um, what example could I give? So many. Okay, a lot of the time we okay, I'll give you an example. I in when I first started this business, I was told that I was too nice. And I was constantly told you're too nice, you're too nice, you're too nice, you're too nice. And that is something that I love about myself. I love that I'm not too nice anymore, don't get me wrong, but there was times where I had that planted in me, so I didn't want to be too nice. And along the way, there was certain experiences that I reflected on 2025 where I lost that too nice of myself. And I could have responded to situations with the best part of myself, which is not being too nice. I'm just, I don't know how to, I think too nice is, it doesn't make it sound good, but I think being a nice person is nice. It's a good thing. And being told you're too nice and too much of something makes you want to take those parts of yourself away. But sometimes those are the best parts of yourself. And sometimes those are the things that you love the most. And then people you also love the most as well. So be able to decipher what parts of yourself that you love the most, so you don't take them away, so you don't diminish them, because God has placed certain personalities within inside of you for a reason. Okay. And it's because you will look at something with a different perspective than someone else, and that's important. If you have an emotional perspective, sometimes that's important for certain scenarios. Of course, logic and emotion need to come hand in hand and be incorporated. But sometimes you are too nice because sometimes people need the too nice. And that's just an example, but maybe look at the last year of your life, and where you did you leave parts of yourself because you didn't feel like it benefited you, or you didn't feel like it was good, but those were your favorite parts of yourself, because that's your authentic self, that's your true self. So really have a reflection of, okay, did I lose parts of myself that I absolutely love, and I love the way that I am with that way, and I get complimented on that all the time, so why should I leave that go? Okay. So yeah, that's an example of your authentic self. Because the reason why I say this is, the moment that you stop showing up as the real you, the most valuable thing is lost, and that is yourself. You start to feel lost. You start to feel not yourself. You start to feel like an imposter, because you are leaving parts of you that actually do benefit you. It's okay to cut out parts of you that don't benefit you. All the negative ones, that's absolutely fine. But the things that make you you, those are important. And I'm really intentional about, when I mentor people, I always say, like, please don't lose these parts of you. Like, these parts of you make you you. They make you different. They make you, like, example, Amelia and my team, most caring person I've ever met in my life, like most caring mother person I've ever met in my life. And during this experience where she is going to grow and she is going to, you like, It's been conversations where don't lose that part of you, that part of you where you care, that part of you where you put people first, that part of, I'm not too sure if she's even on the call, but that part of you where you put people first, don't lose that part of you. Okay, because that part of you will always benefit you. So it's important to really decipher, well, what parts benefit me, what parts don't, and then don't lose the good parts of you that make you you. Okay, cool. Number 6, your standards. Take a sip before I go into this one. Your standards. No, guys, during the last year of your life, maybe there were some experiences where you let a red flag slide. And maybe you said yes when you should have said no. And you tolerate things that don't align with who you truly are. Along the way, you said in the beginning, I'm not going to tolerate this. This is my non negotiables. This is what we're not doing. And then you let your standards slip. You let your bar get lower. And those red flags started seeming like orange flags. They started seeming like not that bad. It's not that bad. They're orange flags, not red flags. Okay. And without realizing it, you started allowing your standards to slip. And let me just say this. It's not because you're weak, okay? It's maybe because it could be so many things. It could be you're tired, it could be you're scared, or you are a person that is used to settling. Low standards attract low energy. So if you're surrounded by people, situations, or habits that drain you, it's time to really check what you've been tolerating, because you have non-negotiables. Well, I don't know about you guys. I have non-negotiables. I have, this is what I'm not going to tolerate. And I'll be honest, during 2025, I tolerated some of it. I tolerated some of it, and my non-negotiables got sacrificed. So then this thing didn't. And when you allow your standards to slip, and we spoke about self-concept before, it's all down to your self-concept. Because if your self-concept, if you valued yourself a lot higher and you thought that you were more worthy, you wouldn't tolerate half the things that you tolerate. You wouldn't accept half the things that you accept. And I think it's really important to look at, okay, in the last year, what have I accepted that I told myself that I'm not going to accept? And something that has been really helping me recently is I have been imagining the child version of myself. So, this child version of myself, I understand that this version of myself that I am today, I am supposed to protect that version of myself, because that version of myself didn't, not to say that she didn't have a protector, but it's my responsibility to protect her. So certain things that trigger her, or certain things that upset her, or certain things that I wouldn't tolerate for her, I cannot tolerate for myself. And it's so important to look at life that way of like, okay, would I tolerate this for her? Would I tolerate this for my child self? Is this what I want her experiences to look like? Is this what I want something to look like? And if you can't imagine your child self, maybe imagine if you had a child, or someone you truly 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 love, like unconditionally, and ask yourself, would you tolerate this for them? Would you tolerate, or would you put up with this for them? And if the answer is no, it means that you are sacrificing your value, and you are sacrificing your standards, and you deserve better. You know that you're supposed to be experiencing more, but you are so caught up with not having the courage to incorporate standards, to incorporate boundaries, that you are now letting this younger version of you, you're letting them down. And when I've been looking at life like that, and when I've been looking at it from that point of view and that perspective, it really helps me understand, damn, like I wouldn't accept this for her. I wouldn't want her to experience these things. So why is it okay for me? And it's maybe because we don't love ourselves enough. And I'm not to say you don't love yourself, because I used to think I sounds so funny, but it's just an example. I've never had an issue with thinking I'm ugly. Like I don't think I'm ugly at all. I've always been quite confident, okay? I've always been quite confident, not the point, okay? I've always been quite confident. But back in the day, I used to think I loved myself because I was quite confident. Okay, I was quite confident. But you can love someone and not think they're good looking, or you can not love someone but think they're good looking. Okay, and whatever. So I really had to understand, like, love is not physical. Love is emotional. Love is internal. Love is how you show up, how you treat them, what you allow for them, and how you show up for them. So now flipping it back to us, how do we love ourselves? And it's not to say, well, I think I look great, so I love myself. No, it's how do I show up for myself? How do I treat myself? How do I respond to myself? How do I deal with myself when I experience things? What do I allow into my experiences? What do I allow in terms of how people or how experiences or whatever, how does it treat me? And how do I put things in place to make sure that I'm loving myself? And it was such an eye opener for me when I realized it. I was like, oh damn, like maybe I'm not holding myself up to the value that I should be. And it was such a lesson for me. But if you have set out non-negotiables for yourself, and you have set out things where it's like, I no longer want to tolerate this, I no longer want to experience this, I think I deserve better in this department, and you are not setting out the standards, and you are constantly letting your standards slip, and you are constantly allowing less and less and less and less and less till the bar is literally on the floor, you need to work on your self-concept and how you view yourself and how you love yourself, because there's something that is misaligning. Okay, so your standards and what you let slip. Okay, and number 7, this is the second last one. Number 7, your sense of time's value. Now, when I was really reflecting, this was something where it's like a whole year has passed. A whole year has passed. Like, guys, what date is it today? 8th of January. We've already passed a week into the new year. That has gone so quickly. That has gone so quickly that we have already experienced a week into the new year. We waste hours, like our hours are infinite, like they don't run out. And we say that I'm going to do it later and I'll start on Monday and all of these things. Like, we have a lifetime of tomorrows, and tomorrow isn't promised, not to any of us. And one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize that you spent years waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect circumstances, the perfect opportunity, the right version of yourself. And I actually, when I was a retail store manager, I was probably about 22 at the time, so this was a while ago. And I was working, and I had one of my supervisors, and she's probably around my mum's age, and at the time she was around 46. And I remember, like, during when I was working, I would, on my breaks, I would jump on calls like this, and I would make sure that on my breaks I'm really intentional about, like, learning the skills and giving it the time or whatever. And everyone in my store knew. And I had a conversation with this woman. Her name is Amber, and I will never forget this conversation because I genuinely think that this conversation started it all. So I spoke to her, and she asked me, like, what am I doing? And I said, obviously, I'm learning Forex. Like, I want to start my own business online. I just don't want to work forever. Like, I don't see myself working forever. And she said, like, Sammy, can I be honest with you? And I said, yeah. Now, this woman is 46. She's a supervisor, meaning I'm her manager, and she's my mum's age. So I had to like manage her, which felt really odd at the time. But she sat me down, and I will never forget this conversation. She said to me, follow your dreams. She was like, you do not want to end up like me. And I looked at her and I was like, well, what do you like explain? She was in like 20 grand debt. She's working to pay off her debt. She had no kids, no husband. She has a cat at home. And she said to me that her whole life, she allowed work to take over her life. She didn't give her time. She didn't give her time to things that truly, truly mattered. She wasted, I don't want to say wasted because it's such a bad term, and I absolutely love this woman. I learned so much from this woman, but she wasted 40 years of her life, and it hasn't amounted to anything that she would be proud of. And she told me that she just wasted so much time on things like when she was younger, she had so many opportunities to follow her dreams. She had so many opportunities to start a business. She had so many opportunities to do all of these things. And she said, you are young. You can make mistakes. You have time to go out and do things. You have time to experience your life. You have time to make other things a priority than this job. And I used to be a workaholic. Like I told you guys, I would be at work 55 hours a week sometimes. So she used to see this and she used to tell me, she would tell me, stop putting this job as a priority. Like, if you don't want this to be your forever thing, do not put it as a priority. And that conversation will forever stay with me because she was like, if you don't, you're going to end up like me. And I swear, when she said that, I genuinely looked at her and I was like, oh my God, with the wrong decisions, I could end up like Amber. With the wrong decisions, I could end up like that. If I don't make the right decisions, if I don't make the most of the time that I have, if I don't follow my dreams, if I like, I could end up 40 something years old, no husband, no children, working for someone that is half my age. No. Oh, it installed such fear inside of me that I was like, literally, I went I went insane in terms of like trying to learn the skill set. And she told me like your life is not promised, like tomorrow is not promised. And she lost the sense of time's value in terms of she never valued time and made the most of her time. And she constantly waited for the right moment. She constantly waited for the right opportunity. She constantly put the wrong things as a priority. And I say that to say that to help you guys understand that life isn't waiting for you. This is not just something you have. Like, time is just not something that you have. It's not anything that you have. It's something that you spend, and you cannot help but spend it. You have to spend it. And once it's spent, it's gone. So let today be the moment that you realize and that you remember that time is ticking. And it's not to scare you because I don't want to install any fear in any of you, but it's to make you realize and to awaken you guys of, damn, like, I'm really taking my time for granted. I'm really sleeping on myself. I'm really like putting the wrong things as a priority with the time that I do have and the precious gift that we do have. We're putting the wrong things as a priority. And that conversation will stick with me forever, and genuinely such an amazing, lovely woman. And I learned so much from her, but that conversation will forever stick with me. Is just stop putting the wrong things as a priority, because you're going to realize that you don't have a lot of time. And I even had another conversation the other day. Sorry, I'm going to wrap up this call really, really, really soon. But I had another conversation the other day with someone, and I haven't spoken to them in 4 years. And during this 4 years, they was in a relationship, and they had been prioritizing the relationship that they hadn't been prioritizing themselves. And when they got out of the relationship, they realized that I haven't done anything in the last 4 years. Like, nothing has changed in the last 4 years. And I was talking to this person, and they said, your life has changed so much in 4 years. And it's because what I put as my priorities. If you put your relationship as your sole priority, and that takes away from everything else, it never should. It should add, it should encourage, it should hold you accountable for all of your other areas. It shouldn't take you away from your dreams, from your goals. And he realized he's lost 4 years and he hasn't done nothing. And it's crazy. So let today be the moment that you realize time is ticking, guys. Okay, last one, and then we're gonna close. Last one, number 8, your curiosity. When did you stop asking questions? Have you realized that children ask the most amount of questions in the world? Most amount of questions. They're so curious about everything. They're so curious about the world. They're so curious about how everything works. So when did you start assuming that you already knew? And curiosity, it feeds growth. It's what keeps your mind open, and it keeps you constantly wanting to learn and constantly wanting to experience, and it keeps your soul and your spirit young. But most people lose their curiosity because they think that being sure of things is safer. But nothing, and I mean nothing, okay, it's 9 a.m. Nothing, how do I say this? Nothing dies faster than a soul that stops exploring the world. It stops exploring knowledge and exploring information and seeking to understand. So read, ask, seek, learn. You are never too old to experience. You are never too old to learn. You are never too old to anything. To stay curious. So stay curious about the world. Stay curious about learning new things. Stay curious about figuring things out. So with that being said, guys, my question is to you guys, what have you lost along the way without even realizing? Have you lost time spent with people that you'll never get back? Okay, are you losing your truth? Are you losing, I don't know, your courage? Are you losing the real you? Okay, while you're chasing a version of yourself, okay, make sure that that version of yourself is meant to be you. Okay. And I really want to make you guys aware that this training is not to make you guys feel guilty of anything. It's not to install fear or anything like that. It's just to wake you guys up. I might start renaming these calls the wake up calls. Okay. Just to help you see and understand that you still now have the present moment and it is not too late, but one day it will be. The most heartbreaking loss is realizing that you had the power to create a beautiful life and you gave it away without even realizing, because you deserve more. Deserve to experience everything that you do want to experience, but you have to work for it. You have to protect it. You have to make sure that you're not losing the best parts of you. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you jumping on this call. Okay. Okay, we're gonna call them the wake up calls now. But I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you, Princess, for throwing those in. Did so I has it point I was wondering how soon no. Yeah, definitely ask questions. Ask questions. Be curious. Be the annoying person that asks all the questions. But I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. Have an amazing, beautiful day. Have a good weekend. Make the most of the time that you are blessed with. Prepare yourself for the 90 days that we're about to go on. Rejuvenate. Start an inside, guys. If I can push anything on you guys, please focus on the inside, and then the outside will just come. Okay, so that being said, have an amazing evening. Wow. Amazing day. Take care, stay blessed, and we'll go again Tuesday 8 a.m. Take care, guys.